They're here. Good girl. Good girl, Julian. You good girl, Mona. You good girl. Okay, it is time for a little update. We're now at the 7th of May. And the reason there hasn't been an update at the beginning of May is because it was raining. For the last 2 weeks of April, first week into May, it was constant rain. Caused one or two problems, which I'll point out in a moment. But at this very moment in time, the sun is shining. The weather is turning. It's not quite paramotoring weather yet because there are some winds. There are some winds around. Been watching the weather report, so I've got to wait for things to settle down before I can get up in the air. Anyway, let's have a look at what is happening in May. My strawberry tower is coming on rather nicely. It's got some lovely flowers there, which are obviously going to turn into beautiful strawberries once the buzzy bees get on with their pollination. One of the problems that the rain has caused is that all the seeds in these seed trays that I planted for my parsnips have not really come through. There's very few come through, and that's because the seeds have actually rotted away rather than take shoot. So there are very few. So I've got to pop to the shops and get some more compost, fill this guttering up with it, sow the seeds, and once they've come up, I can then simply scoot them out and into the ground. And that's how I will get all my delicious parsnips. Along with spring comes beauty and new life. How about those for the most delicious roses you'll ever come across? I'm amazed with these. They are absolutely gorgeous. They go on right the way through the summer as well. So once they're over, I deadhead them and I get more coming through. But aren't they just beautiful? I mean, the richest golden red you have ever seen. By and large, the veg garden is doing really well. I have, however, lost some potatoes, and I think that's down to the fact that there was so much rain that they rotted away instead of taking shoot. But let's have a look and see how well the garden's doing. The onions and potatoes are doing really well. Potatoes are really coming on good. And I should have lovely new potatoes in about 8 to 10 weeks. The onions, they will go on right through till September. I'll be lifting those in about September time. But I might pinch one or two before then. Now, down here against the fence, we've got peas. All the peas along there. There is enough peas there, or there will be enough peas, for me to freeze absolutely loads of them to feed me throughout the whole year. And as the peas stop, the beans begin to come through. There we have the beans, and again, enough to feed me throughout the whole year. I've got nothing planted in this area here. This is going to be for the sweet potatoes, and I've got to go and get the young plants for that, and you'll see how I do those. But look how the weeds are all coming through. Now check those onions out. Yeah, they're great, but look at the weeds among them. And those weeds are going to grow way faster than those onions will. You'll see it. In the polytunnel I've also got some onions which I want to grow on quicker so I can have them in the spring, late spring. But look at the weeds growing around them. Seriously, they do not take long. However, I've got some nice lettuces ready, looking good. And then over on the other side, look at those tomatoes. They're coming on really well. I've got to tie them up today and get them trained. I'll be getting plenty of tomatoes off them. The cucumbers have suffered because of the rain, and I think what I will be doing is getting new cucumber plants. They don't look very healthy. However, the sweet peppers are looking good. I've got those there. I've lost one there, so I'm going to replace that as well. And all my cabbages, broccoli and cauliflower are all starting to really come through. Mona has become very attached to me, and she's sitting outside the fence waiting for me to come out, or for her to come in actually. She would love to get in here running around, but I'm concerned that she's so boisterous, she'll just tear the plants up. But she's patiently waiting, bless her, and she is such a delicious girl. I am in love with her for sure. Lovely row of leeks in here, and again they're looking really healthy. This row is not plants, it's weeds. Look at them. But this is where the second row of leeks are going to go, so that I've got enough leeks to see me through the whole year. Here I've got a number of rows. There's 2 rows here close together, and there will be a 3rd row here. I'll come back to those ones in a moment. Down that side again, there's nothing but weeds, but I'll be planting in there brassicas. So I'm talking cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, especially the broccoli, because what I want to do is plant some again, and then in about 3 weeks again, 3 weeks again. And that means that I'll get them come up, not all at once, but in succession. And that gives me an opportunity to harvest them and then blanch them and freeze them down for the winter. In these 3 rows, this is where I will be planting the lettuce. In this row will be the carrots, and 1 row of carrots is enough to see me through the whole year. Wow, the garden is looking really good, I'm pleased. What I just need now is sunshine, not more rain. Here I've got my main crop of onions, looking really healthy and nice, and I've just weeded some of them. But if you take a look at that, look how much weed there is growing around them. And if you leave it, it will just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm sure that ends up stunting the growth of the onion. So that's why I do the weeding of those little bits. And I have no doubt that the chickens are really pleased with the sunshine, because now they can get out and play and have fun. Can't you, girls? 4 eggs a day, that's plenty. I don't need any more than that. In fact, that's too much really. Now, let's look at the fruit. Fruit is not cheap to buy. It's expensive, especially if you eat a lot of it. So, the fruit trees that I've got, I make sure I look after them and make sure I get the best I can out of them. Isn't that right, Mona? I don't know if you can see her, but she's right here by my side. Where Matt goes, Mona goes. Plums are coming through on this tree and they're really looking healthy. Plenty of them. I really enjoy these. They've got a wonderful taste to them. So looking forward to having them in about a month's time. Again, the figs are doing really well. Getting to be a good healthy size. There's wonderful things you can do with figs. Cerasias, if I've pronounced it correctly. Cherries. Wow. Look at those beauties. The whole tree is absolutely full of them. This is going to be a good harvest with these cherries. Now along this fence are all the dessert grapes. They're looking really healthy. They always do. And fortunately, we have missed out so far on the mildew. Once the mildew gets hold of them, it's goodbye. It's looking like I'm going to have some serious pears this year. Wow, looking forward to that. I do like my pears. Here's a different variety of plum. They're also delicious, and loads of them. I've got a lovely rhubarb plant here, and I'm just going to get this weed out. Come on, you little beggar. Hello, you. Hello, you. Oh, yeah, have a stick. Have a stick. Yeah, look, go and get it. No, you normally do. Right, so we've got a rhubarb plant with Mona crawling all over it, and Elisa has never had rhubarb and custard. She's going to this year. Yeah, looking good. That's provided you don't run all over it. Isn't that right, girlie? No, you don't get my microphone. You'd have that if you could, wouldn't you? Yes, yes you would. Yes you would. Right, Mona is obsessed with getting sticks. She'll go and get a stick, run around with it, drag it up into the house. Sticks seem to be her favourite at the moment. Isn't that right, Dullin? Yeah, I'm not paying no attention to you, Dad. I'm busy enjoying life. What is it, Mona? What are you looking at? What can you see? What can you see? Oh, what have you seen? Oh, come on. You're never going to catch birds. She'll work that one out one day. It's been grass cutting season here in Portugal since February. And so I've been cutting it about, once a week, where the rains have allowed me to do that. Now we get the heat and the sunshine. It's going to be twice, if not 3 times a week. It grows like the clappers. However, and here's something that never happened to me in the UK. When it comes to July and August, because it is so hot, the grass stops growing, and in fact it turns brown. So I get about 2 months off grass cutting. But then when September comes and the temperatures cool down, a bit more moisture on the ground, they're off again. And that goes on until November. So you get December, January, no grass cutting. Then it starts in February, and then you get the 2 months off in the summer. So 4 months of the year, I'm not cutting grass. What can I say? If there is one thing I absolutely love about the spring, is the colour, the burst of colour that comes through. Look at this for a gorgeous golden yellow. I don't know, I can't remember the name of this plant. Yeah, you get them in the UK. Let me know in the comments what this is called, please, because I can't remember. But isn't it gorgeous? Now, once all these flowers have been pollinated and they start turning to seeds, then I cut it all back. But what a beautiful sight to see. I wake up in the morning, stand on the steps with my coffee, look down on this and think, I'm a lucky man. For sure I am. When this Wisteria tunnel was in full bloom, believe me, it was absolutely delicious. It was a sight to see, and the aroma of it travelled for, just a huge distance. I would be down in the forest and I could smell it. I'd be in the back where the chickens are and my garden. And then sometimes the wind would bring it round and I think, oh yeah, that's the Wisteria. And it's just beautiful, isn't it? But now what you get is a green long tunnel. And I think this is still beautiful. I think it's lovely. Nice big long green tunnel. This morning I turned over my 2 herb beds, and I'll go and get some compost this afternoon, get a nice layer of compost on top, and then what I'll do is get all the herbs planted, because I dry the herbs throughout the summer so that I've got herbs galore throughout the whole year. May is the last month of spring, and I've just been upstairs and had a look at the temperatures. 26.9, 25.9. So let's round it off and call it 26 degrees. So the temperatures are only going to go one way from here, and that's up. Hello, darling. Hello, Lady Lulu. Now, this is the month where I make sure that I've got everything in order. Everything is good. Everything is growing as it should. And if it isn't, then I take the necessary action to get it all good. If that means renewing the plants, then that's what I do. And obviously keeping down the insects. So this is my last opportunity to make sure that I've got everything I want and everything I need, and it's all good. Because hereafter, it's take it easy time and spend as much time as I can flying. But there we have, late spring. Isn't it beautiful? Did you ever see the film Die Hard 4? Bruce Willis has to go and see this guy to get some information out of him, and he goes down into the guy's basement. It's a big basement, and he calls it his command and control centre. Bruce Willis was in stitches. Well, you can be in stitches too, because this is my command and control centre, and while I'm in my command and control centre, I'm going to be editing the video that you have just watched. So if there's anything you want to know, let me know in the comments below, and I'm going to get on with the editing. I'll see you in the next one.